息。本案正在进行无人机视频巡查，有请提示广大市民群众出入审议会。打架成本高，用暴力解决问题不可长。大数主员，大应做出拒绝暴力。
A very warm welcome to the channel. It is Friday, the 11th of October 2024, close to the weekend, and happy National Day to the country of Taiwan. And before we get underway, please do like, subscribe and share. It helps the algorithm, it helps me, and hey, maybe one day, possibly in the near future, I can get up to 100,000 subscribers. Today is about the US versus China and the 8 measures of power. The source of this is Great Powers Index 2024. And again, the blue is the United States and the red is the People's Republic of China. Education, first of all, is at 2 for America and 1.6 for China. Now, the infrastructure is getting better in the education of China compared to 20 years ago, but it's so inefficient because the teachers, for example, are still using PowerPoint. Who uses PowerPoint nowadays? And the teachers haven't changed their methods for decades, while in America, it's far more forward. Example, you do your college entrance exam. You would only study the subject that you would need to get into university. You can do extras in the United States and England, exactly what I did all those years ago. But in China, you would, if you're doing, let's say, arts, you would still have to do biology, chemistry, and maybe physics. You would have to choose one. So the system is way out of date. I disagree entirely to some people who may live in China who are teachers. The poor students study from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. It's very, very inefficient. They don't need to. What they need to do is look at South Korea and how that education system has improved in the last 15 to 20 years. The next one is pretty even with technology. I don't really agree with the Chinese one saying 1.8 because basically they copy a lot of the IP stuff. You can disagree with this, but look at some social media. In China, before you had QQ, it's not really there anymore. It's still available, but QQ was copied basically near enough word for word from MSN, main Microsoft social network, so MSN, not M, my bad there. Competitiveness, China sweeps the board with this one. Now, if you work in a company, because I disagree with this, if you work in a company, you need to work together as a team. You don't need to compete in the team itself. But when you come to sell, let's say from, let's do America, there is the competition between Samsung and Apple. That's good. But within the company, China likes the competitive. Again, they have something in China called 996 with this, which means 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. Very hardworking, granted, but so inefficient related to it. Just take out the competitiveness within the company. Military here, America is 2.1 and China is 0.9. Trade, China beats this one 1.7, between 1.3 with America. Because they can do things a lot cheaper, because the lower cost of living in some cases, but because the cost of living is becoming more expensive, this is actually going to go down because other countries like Cambodia, Indonesia and Vietnam can do this at the competitive prices compared to China. So companies aren't moving out of China and into other Southeast Asian countries who would be happy for the work because the cost of living is lower. Where do we get to? Economic output is about the same. The financial center, you can see that in China, this does include Hong Kong, by the way, is at 0.7%. That used to be a lot higher when you could say even 10, let's say 15 years ago, because CCP likes to control everything. And politicians shouldn't control finance because Well, they're corrupt for a start, and two, they don't understand it because they've never been educated over it. Let finance be controlled by business people. For example, Jack Ma, who's Chinese, and maybe Mickey Fernandez, I think his name is, who is the CEO of Air Asia. And reserve currency and status, China here is at minus 0.6, while America is at 1.9. America does have the reserve, China doesn't. But what China is trying to do with a lot of other developing and smaller developed countries is the BRICS, the different currency that they want to be number one, and USA dollar is not going to be. It will basically never happen. This picture I did find, and I was going to do it on another show, but this is Xi Jinping, and China has banned transgenders from TV, including a ban on showing LGBT relationships on television. Why? It's part of life now. I think most people are fine if your friend is lesbian or gay. It's okay. It's just their preference. They like men, they like women, whatever. But to do this as a ban on television is wrong. I think everyone should be open-minded to it. And even related to sex education when you're 13 years old, which doesn't really happen so much in China, the teacher would now have to be educated to educate the students about modern I'm trying to find a polite word, modern ways of life. Now, you can agree, you can disagree. Some people are very old-fashioned. A lot of people in China say there's only two genders, the man and woman, period. Is that being homophobic? I don't know with that. But who cares if your friend is a transvestite? Or transgender, or gay, or lesbian. It's their choice, and if they know your choice, you can still be friends. Why not? So this is sort of like interesting with that. And Xi Jinping just trying to control absolutely everything with the narrative. So freedom of speech, freedom of choice, it slowly gets taken away, taken away, taken away. Now, I think this is the last thing we're going to do for today. Yep, let's have a look at a compilation of the strength of the infrastructure of buildings in China. I know we've shown this countless times. And why do they have this? Because, well, people do things on the cheap. And at first, it all looks shiny and new, but give it a period of time, it sort of disintegrates into nothing. And if there is a bit of inclement weather, then these things can happen. Which brings us to a close on Friday, the 11th of October 2024. Once again, a polite reminder, if you do like, give it a thumbs up. If you do want to, it's all free of charge. You can subscribe to the channel. And if you do feel generous enough, the links for donations are in the link below. God bless to all. Thank you so much for your time. And I will see you for another episode of The Asia Show. My name is James. Bye-bye for now. Thank you.